Hey guys, how you doing today? It's Barb with Halfway to Sane here. Um, First things first, if you guys have any type of triggers about abuse or anything of that sort, murder, whatever, that's what this channel's all about. So read the disclaimer in the comments before you go any further. But anyway, I'm going to get into the story that has to do with a Texas woman's murder. That says that that's pretty much only half the story. So I'm going to get right into it. So, and my freaking hair, oh my gosh. 3 days after 24-year-old Alyssa Burkett was shot and then stabbed to death outside her office in Carrollton, Texas, Andrew Beard, with whom Alyssa shared a 1-year-old daughter, was charged with her murder. The following day, Andrew's fiancée, Holly Elkins, voluntarily sat down with two detectives at the police department and stated that Andrew was at home with him. She said if she had any information to give them, that she would, but she didn't have anything. She also said that she believed that they had the wrong person. She says, I can't believe my fiance would do something like that to a woman or to anybody in general. She also said she was willing to help if she could, and she stated, I just feel bad to not help something that I think is very sad that happened. I feel conflicted morally because I want to help, but I don't have anything. But there was one thing Holly was adamant about. She said Andrew was home with her that morning when Alyssa was killed. She said, I hadn't had any reason to believe that Andrew left this house and did it. I would give it to you. I would, I promise. And at first it seemed like it was an open and shut case to police, but they would later discover that Andrew Beard was only half the story. And on the morning of October 2nd, 2020, Alyssa parked outside the Green Tree Apartments leasing office when a man in a black Ford Expedition pulled into the spot next to her. He got out of the SUV and shot Alyssa through the driver's side window. Assuming she was dead, he began to drive away. However, Alyssa was still alive. As she got out of her car and ran towards the office, the assailant, who several eyewitnesses described as a black man, got back out of his car and chased Alyssa with a hunting knife. He stabbed and slashed her 44 times before he fled for good. Maybe if she would have stayed in the car just slightly longer and he would have driven away. There's always that if this happened. But it makes me wonder if she would still be alive today. Alyssa's mother, Teresa, arrived at the scene and she immediately gave investigators a name: Andrew Beard. In the months leading up to her death, Alyssa and Andrew, who were 33 years old at the time, had been involved in a bitter custody battle over their daughter Willow. After Willow was born in July of 2019, Andrew filed for primary custody of the baby. Andrew made more money than Alyssa, and she was afraid that he wanted Willow and he was going to get her. Finally, in the spring of 2020, things between Alyssa and Andrew seemed to calm down after they came to an agreement on visitation with Willow and child support. Andrew had also started dating a woman named Holly Elkins, and Alyssa's family said she was happy that Andrew found someone new. But the peace between Andrew and Alyssa would be disrupted again when he started demanding primary custody of Willow yet again. Alyssa also couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that she was being watched. She told her family that Andrew always seemed to know where she was. Every day you feel like you're having to watch over your shoulder, and that's how I felt she lived, said her mother, Teresa. Within hours of Alyssa's murder, police pulled Andrew over in his F-150 pickup truck with Holly and Willow inside. Police seized the truck and told Andrew and Holly that they could leave, but they could not return to their home. Later that night, police searched Andrew's home and found GPS tracker batteries and charging stations that matched a tracking device detectives discovered under Alyssa's car earlier that day. Hence how he always knew where she was. The next day, police searched Andrew's F-150 pickup and uncovered 2 bottles of dark foundation makeup investigators believe Andrew used to disguise himself as a black man on the morning of the murder. Later that night, police located the black Ford SUV the assailant drove to the scene. It was found abandoned less than a mile from Andrew's house. Now, on October 5th, 2020, Andrew surrendered at the Carlton Police Department and was charged with murder. He spent 2 weeks behind bars before he was released on bond. Detective Chevalier said he was worried about baby Willow's safety, so he reached out to the federal government to take the case under federal firearm laws because an unregistered silencer was found during the search of Andrew's home. And the federal government agreed to take the case. 8 days after he bonded out, Andrew was rearrested and ultimately charged with cyberstalking using a dangerous weapon, resulting in death. In June 2022, Andrew pled guilty, and 1 month later, he spoke with the FBI as part of a plea deal that he had a lot to say, especially when it came to Holly Elkins' role in the plot to kill Alyssa. He said, she would state, this is how you're going to do this. You're going to wear this dark makeup. This was her plan, and that's how it's going to be done. And investigators soon realized that Holly Elkins, who told investigators, I want to help, I really do, but he said, I don't have any answers. Just 4 days after Alyssa's murder, and had given the performance of her life. That she did. She was the one running the show, and she was telling him what he was going to do. Investigators dug back into text messages between Alyssa and Andrew, which revealed Holly's true feelings about Alyssa. She hated Alyssa with a burning passion. 1 week before the murder, Holly texted Andrew while she was away on a trip to Mexico and wrote, I hope you handle it. I'm not coming home to bullshit. Andrew responded, that's my goal. Now, during his interview, Andrew explained to investigators, I just basically said okay and became submissive to what she wanted me to do. And that was the task that I did. Shortly after that text exchange, Google records showed that Andrew Beard began conducting searches for how to remove gunpowder from your hands. Now, after speaking with Andrew, the FBI spent about a year building a compelling case against Holly. And in the eyes of the investigators, Holly was just as culpable for Alyssa's death as Andrew. I 100% believe that if Holly and Andrew had never met, that Alyssa would still be alive today. In May 2023, Andrew was sentenced to 43 years in federal prison. And now the child does not have either parent, and the child's grandmother is raising the 4-year-old, and everything that happened when she was just 14 months old, she has no idea what has happened. And that's a shame because she literally does not have either parent now. And it just makes me sick. Makes me sick. Investigators believed that Holly thought the case was over, and I think she believed that the further she got away from this, the less involved she was going to be. But it didn't work out for her. 2 months after Andrew was sentenced, Holly was arrested by federal agents at the Miami airport after returning from a trip to the Dominican Republic. She was charged with conspiracy to stalking using a dangerous weapon, resulting in death. Holly pled not guilty, and in April 2024, Holly went on trial as a co-conspirator, where one of the federal prosecutors put it like this: Andrew Beard was a monster, but he was Holly Elkins' monster. After a week trial, the case went to jury. Jurors deliberated for about 90 minutes and returned a verdict of guilty on all counts. 3 months later, she was sentenced to 2 life terms, much longer than Andrew's sentence. So that's that. You know, these people who want custody of their children, they honestly think they're going to get away with murder and have custody of that child. How is it that they convinced themselves that they're going to get away with this? And then the child is the one that suffers in the end. Always. It's always the child that suffers in the end. All right, guys. That's all I got for you today. Do me a huge favor. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that thumbs up button and that notification bell so that you are notified the next time that I upload a video. And till next time, guys, peace.